Hello everybody and welcome to a new series back on the channel with Space Engineers. Now this one's going to be very different from ones we've done previously. We didn't finish off the last one. We had a lot of issues with various things, so it ended up being finished early on. And we didn't really come back to Space Engineers. Now they've had some updates. They've had a new world come in, which is the one we're on at the moment, Pertum. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. Now this is a very, very different server this time. So it's the Space Engineer server for the rugged community. So if you are interested in joining, then make sure you check out the Discord, and you can see there. Now I am kind of cool seeing these footprints, which obviously since we played has come in, and it also does it as well for the landing gears. You can just see this light outline there. That's pretty cool. Now, what's different about this server than what we've had from previous is this one is completely open to PvP. So someone else could come along and attack us at any time. So obviously, we've got to start thinking about visibility. We've got our little beacon here. Now, I did drop another beacon, another pod down just to have a look at the world, and it does seem to show that that pod is still active. Now, whether that means the survival kit was damaged on it, or whether it just went offline, I'm not sure, but we've dropped into our fresh pod. We didn't do anything on that other pod anyway. It was just literally pod drop, had a look around, and then logged off. So we're starting pretty fresh here. Now let's get straight into it and let's get it done. Now remember, we now need to start thinking about not only, obviously people can track us by our beacons and stuff like that, but people can also see us as well. We can get our beacons hidden and do various things. So we need to start digging, and I'm going to start digging kind of underground, I think, because I want to keep my base pretty safe. So if they do find it, then they're going to have to break in through the entrance that we create, rather than being able to just obliterate it from orbit. Now, the only mod we have on, as you can see, is the automatic ore collector. So let's start making ourselves a little bit of a ramp down into our base. There we go. Now I don't want to be using my jetpack, obviously, to go in and out of my base, so I'm going to try and make this into a bit of a ramp. We'll probably build a ramp anyway going down. And obviously we need the resources anyway, so let's start digging down as best we can. Need to... I don't want to dig too much out of the ground, because obviously I want to try and keep it as covered up as possible. But I also don't want to go too steep. Let's just get some digging done so that we can then start doing building some resources, because we're going to need some resources anyway. And then I'll adjust the ground and obviously the ramp. That's going to be our best option. Right now, this is just going to be like a foot entrance, so that it's going to be an entrance for us to walk in and out of. Kind of like go this way. There we go. Right, we've got a bit now, so let's find that's our O2 generator. Here's our survival kit. So we obviously want to put it into our survival kit, and then we want to create production. We want to create ingots. Put as many as we can in there. 2,000 will do for now. So that now can continue with that, and we just collect stone as much as we can. Now, the only mod that I do have right now, as I say, is the ore collector, but that doesn't mean we won't add some at a later stage. Right now, it's just we want to keep the mods down. Obviously, for better performance for the server, and also because we want to kind of keep it as vanilla as possible as well. Right, that's actually going to start. Well, what we'll do is we'll put in some production. Now we want some steel plates for now, so we'll place in 400 steel plates, so that once it's done the stone, it'll start creating steel plates, and then we can start putting an outline of our kind of entrance into it here. I can put my ramp up. What I'll do is I'll start building a block here, like so, and Oh. Okay, so if we get it so it'll line up the... Now this slope is going to be way too steep for anything other than obviously us walking in and out. That's not a problem. Kind of want to place it like so. That should be pretty decent for put the other block in. Right, obviously we need steel plates, so let's see if we got any steel plates now. We do. 41, not many, but it should be enough for us. I need to realign it again. Go. We just place it about there, I think. And if we go ahead and place a square block to it, I'd say that's a pretty good start right there. So that's going to lead us into our area. So we are slightly off, but that's not a problem. As we can do it 3 wide for a start. We can see here. Now obviously that's going to just slightly clip. That's not an issue. Now we're going to need to start getting some power supply and some production going sooner rather than later. And I obviously want to mine automatic mining as well. I do like my mining platforms and stuff, so we definitely want to start that sooner rather than later. We can actually dig out a lot of the tunnel system with a mining system rather than actually doing it by hand as well. Obviously we need to start off first by at least getting some sort of idea as to what we're doing here. Right, let's go, and there we go. So we're looking good so far. Obviously place our next block here, which may need a square block, and then a sloped block there. Then we'll just put a slope block on either side. Right. Out. May not. Just dig out some more. Okay, so we dug out a bit of a slope here so we can see where we're working. So what I want to try and do now is start mapping out where I'm going to have my power supply and stuff like that. So obviously we want to keep the power supply as free as possible from attacks, but we're going to need to do it from the outside because obviously wind power, and I realize I've just been doing the wrong block. So let's just get rid of them blocks. They're completely wrong. There we go. So yeah, so we want to obviously try and keep it free from attacks, but we've got no choice but to get the power out in the open where it is, vulnerable to these attacks. Now, the other thing we need to think about as well is obviously the best place to put them to get the best possible power supply. We also need a backup with battery and stuff like that. We're looking good. So the main part of the base will obviously be underground, where it'll be heavily defended by the ground itself, and then obviously the armor blocks we place in there. So let's go ahead and think about some power supply. 1, 2, 3, 5 blocks away from our entrance. I'm going to start placing some towers on slopes. Go. This is where it gets a little bit fiddly because we're going to have to keep going up and down. Okay. Go. Can't actually use the... I don't want to use it too much because we'll burn the H2 quite quickly. Let's just quickly whack these plates on. We're burning through this. Just makes it a little bit easier to apply a good vantage point for it. I think that'll do for our... Oh, we need one going the other way first. Do for our initial power requirements, I think. 1, 3, 4, 5. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Oh, we need some more steel plates. We're obviously out of hydrogen as well. We haven't got our H2O2 bottle out of here, so let's... that's the wrong button. Here we go, inventory. So we've got a rifle with 3 mags. Our H2O2 generator, a hydrogen bottle. We may need to get that. Yeah, we need to get that from the other side. That's not a problem. Let's go ahead and grab it out of here. Hydrogen bottle. Go. Keep our hydrogen filled up. And let's get this stone in as well. Then once that's done, we'll get some more steel plates. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good initial startup for the power supply. It's not high as I'd like it, but this is only going to be temporary. We're going to remove this, and what we'll do is we'll place it further away from the entrance, because at the moment it's leading people directly to our entrance. What I will more than likely do is lead something off underground and then bring it out of the tower, out the little mound here or something like that, or maybe relocate the power supply to like the side of a mountain there, so it's covered from most angles. But for now, the temporary will do. Right, let's see if we've got steel plates here. Stuff. We're going to need some interior plates as well. Now got some steel plates. Let's get the gravel out of there. There we go. Got that gravel. We don't need gravel right now. We're not going to need gravel really for a very long time. Still going to need my jetpack, unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then same again on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then obviously we're going to need these. Now these are going to need interior plates. They are going to need interior plates. So let's go ahead and switch this over to interior plates. Production. Interior plates. Let's rotate that around to there. Let's drop some more stone in there. Go. That'll supply that really quickly. You can see there's just, we need so much more stone and stuff like that, and doing it by hand is going to take a very long time, and I don't really want to be just sat there grinding it. Right, there's our interior plates. I'm just going to fly over quickly, not too quickly so I don't hit the side of it. We're just going to place 3 of these down, because obviously this is an open server, so whilst we're offline, that's going to charge our batteries up with other players playing. Oops. Now this server has only recently started, so there's obviously going to be plenty of time for us to okay. Oh, that's free placement, gravity align placement. Production. Okay, G. Where it is our... Where's our windmills? So much stuff now. Lettering. I know it's here somewhere. It's right in front of me and I'm missing it completely. Being battery, solar, small reactor, rail. I don't want the solar. I want a wind turbine. Why can't I see the wind turbines on here? Okay, well. And then I want to go add components from the build planner. That should. There we go, 3. Not the best way of doing it, but right. So I'm going to carry on this little haul here and gather some more resources. And I'm not going to make you watch that because it's going to be boring as hell. So we'll be back shortly. Okay, and that's us fully operational with power. Just got a few short interior plates on our last one, but I'm not too worried finishing that off. So we have power supply. We probably don't have much power supply, but at least we got some power supply, so we should be able to run a few things off here. Hopefully we can get a battery sooner rather than later, and then it doesn't matter, we can trickle feed the battery. And they're all green, so they should be optimal. Probably not as optimal as we can get them, but at least we're getting some power out of it. And we'll check that out at a later stage when we get something so we can interact with it. But this base, in effect, is powered up. We've dropped it down a little bit more. I've got more stone down here, so I can just do that. And then I think I'm kind of at the layer I want to be, so this will do just nicely. Nice little entrance here, and then straight into our base. Obviously, I want to build a mining rig here, but to build the mining rig, it's probably going to take us a few more blocks. Two things I need is a piston, place that there, and a drill block. Now the reason why I'm not too worried about anything else right now is because I can manually empty the drill. So all I want is a piston and a drill, and then with the drill I can drill basically where I want to build my base. That's the plan. And if there's any wastage, then I'm not too worried because it's only stone, but at least I'm not having to go around with a hand drill and do that. So let's go ahead and place. Now if you, it's not the easiest and I can't remember because it's been so long, but basically if you it'll place them in the build mode, basically into the build thing, and then I can just go ahead and do that, add components from the build planner, and it'll crack on with that. Got production. It looks like it's still not actually finished off our original stuff, so go back to our G. So we want to add, so we can cancel that now, so we can clear that and add that to our build planner. And then where was our piston? We can add the piston to the build planner. That's probably the best way to do it. Let's clear current production. We don't need any of them at the moment. Let's go back and then add components could not be put into production. We could be short on something here. We're probably going to need an assembler, aren't we? So what do we need? Large steel tubes? I bet it's the large steel tubes we can't build. Apparently we can't build any steel tube. I'm presuming the piston's going to need small steel tubes for the small piston as well. And you're going to need... Yeah, you need steel tubes, so we can't actually build that yet. So let's go ahead and get an assembler going, because we're going to need the assembler and refinery. Slightly annoying. So I'm just going to dig out this a little bit more. I don't want to, as I say, bore you with the drilling. So we're going to drill it out, and then we'll come back, and hopefully we can get an assembler and a refinery going sooner rather than later. Okay, so I dug it out a little bit more. Obviously, it's by hand, so it's going to take a while. So I'm going to go ahead and I've placed my assembler here. We haven't got all the components for the assembler just yet. It's still working up the top there. I've accidentally added more to the build planner. That's not a problem. But actually, most of the welding is the steel plates anyway. So there we go. And then next to it, we've got the basic refinery as well, because obviously we're going to connect a piston here and a drill here and do it all for us. That's probably going to make it slightly wider than I hoped for. So I'm going to try and get a connector going. We'll place one here, one here. It should hopefully work for us. Now, it's going to probably make a hole still bigger than what we need, but still, it's better than doing it by hand, and we can obviously adjust as and where necessary. Right, what have we got here? We can move all this here. We're going to need some more stone, because obviously we're going to run out of stone. And then we can actually take out the production of materials from there and place it into here. And I'm just going to weld it all the way up because we've got the resources anyway. Now, whilst this isn't built, we actually have access to this. So we can now just rely on this to generate the ingots for us. Which, again, it's not ideal, but it'll work for now. So we can actually cancel the production here. Cancel all that. And then we can just literally set it to just produce ingots. There we go, 50,000 ingots, just to keep it busy for now. Then all we do is we take out this stuff here. Not the stone though, that can stay in there. And then obviously we can take that out. Go. Worried too much about the gravel. Dump the gravel back down. Did I take it out? I thought I did. Oh, it did drop out. Okay, and then what we can do is we can come to here. And we can actually set this up to produce some stuff for us. So I'm just going to set up to build 100 of each for now. Give me plate and grids. mortars. We're going to need some large steel tube and small steel tube, but I don't want too many just yet because they do take a while to build. So we'll do 20 of each for now. And that should do us for now. 100 steel plates on the inventory, so we can just place now into our inventory all the resources we've got. We've obviously got no iron at the moment, so we ain't going to do anything. So I'm going to get to doing some more mining. It's going to be a bit of a back and forward, but we'll do some more mining and hopefully we can get going sooner rather than later. Okay, so our assemblers managed to give us some components, so we've got enough now to get the basic refinery done. So we're going to go ahead and do that. The reason why we want the refinery complete is because obviously as is now, there's no way of getting to the connection point on our assembler. So we'll get it all the way up, and then we've got a new connection point here. There we go. Now the other thing, well, the next thing we want to look at is getting a couple of tubes or a couple of conveyors. We want large conveyors. I don't know why it's not showing me on a conveyor. Or there we go. As a matter of fact, if we just place the conveyor junction on our little block, we can actually rotate through. Okay, so we're gonna want, I don't think we've got any interior plates. We may need that to be cleared, so let's just get this clear. Another thing we've actually just done here as well is we can actually look at our power supply here. So we've got max output is 320 kilowatts, but the current output is only 708 watts. So not the best, but it's giving us some power supply at least. Just free up this without obviously blowing up our refinery. Yeah, so let's see if we can now place down. Can indeed, and then we want to rotate it around like so, and then I want to put my piston on here. But what I'm going to try and do first is I'm going to actually try and put a rotor on there so we can actually do small pistons and small drills, hopefully. So let's go ahead and get a rotor. No, we'll place the rotor onto here like so. Unable to place rotor. You need a lot of space, aren't you? Okay, so I'm going to clear this out so we can fit the rotor on, and then we'll come back and we'll get it done. Okay, so we've got our drill on, so now we need all the components to get the drill in. I decided to actually stick with the large drill because I wanted the space that large drill takes up without having to build like loads of small drills. So let's go ahead and get as many of the resources we can here. There we go. Let's put that stone away in there. Now, obviously, the power supply isn't going to be enough to run everything. Oh, we need 4 more large steel tubes and a lot of steel plates. So let's go ahead and make sure our production is producing speed 1, 2, 3, 4. I built one too many there, and then we need 20 steel plates as we can get our hands on. Let's go ahead and pop them into here. Our power is getting low, so we definitely need to sort something out with that. As a matter of fact, while that just finishes them off, let's go ahead and pop to the surface, jump in our little cockpit, put on a bit of power, and then we can continue what we're actually doing here. Hopefully, we should be set and good to go. Obviously, the power supply is really going to struggle, so we need to start thinking about getting some batteries on sooner rather than later. There we go. Our power is up. Let's drop back in. Now, this also isn't going to connect yet because we're still using this as a connection point. Here we go. We should have really put in a joint connection really here, but it's okay. We'll manage. We'll manage. What do I want? Steel plates there. Have we got enough? We've got enough to complete the drill. There we go. We can actually get to this point here. We can actually access everything here, which is good. Let's turn on our drill. That'll collect some stone already. We need 4 more small steel tubes. So let's just get the 1, 2, 3, 4. Missing items. We need iron. Okay. Just take some of that out of there. Place it into here. That'll give us the iron we need. We can now get these. We can now weld this up. And that will now provide There we go. Everything's now going through to our basic refinery. Let's have a look at how our power supply is doing. Okay. Excellent. Basic refinery. Max required input. Everything's looking good so far. Okay, so we now can start bringing our piston into play. So we want to show the inertia tensor. And then we want velocity as 0.1. 0.01. That should just take it out very slowly. Maybe faster than that. 0.1. And that's fairly slow. Okay, let's try 0.4. Are we getting any movement here? Piston may not be free. There we go. Oh, that's way too fast. Way too fast. Way too fast. Reverse. 0.01 was okay. Bring it back into the fold. There we go. Right, let's reverse. Okay, so yeah, it's going the other way now. That's good. We can reverse that to 0.01. There we go. That should take it out nice and slowly. Ooh, don't get near that drill head. That's going to give us plenty of room to actually start doing stuff that we want to do. We can just clear this underneath here. And obviously I want to place some more steel blocks. Oh, we haven't got any steel blocks at all, so we need to definitely get some of them. Go, steel blocks. Steel plates even. Place the steel plates underneath. Oh, what are you doing there? There we go. Place the steel plates underneath. That'll also keep the drill hopefully upright. And it should just slide nicely along. Which it is doing perfect. Hopefully it won't get stuck on there. And it'll just slowly grind away and create a nice little hole for us to work with. We'll then obviously work with the resources we get from that to then build some more stuff in our tunnel to be able to actually get somewhere with this. While we're at it, let's go ahead and place down some blocks here. There we go. And we should be able to go underneath here without dying. We have, yes, excellent. Need some more space here. There we go. Instead of digging by hand now, we can rely on the drill to do all the work for us, and we can actually just use the right mouse to clear away our access point. There we go. It does a little bit more than what the other one does as well. And we can go ahead and have a look at how it looks. There we go. Got a bit more to do here. You just see that's nice and slow. That should be providing us with plenty of resources. Have a look how it's doing. It actually could probably go a little bit faster, so let's go ahead and do that. Piston. We'll set it to 0.03, 0.03. Then we can just go ahead and place another. Like, we obviously can't go too close to the drill head because it'll take out the steel plate. Nice and slowly. Let's see how it's doing there. It's still barely touching the drill head before it's going into our refinery. So let's go ahead and go a little bit faster. We don't want to go too fast because obviously if it starts grinding away and not clearing. Let's try 0.0. Oops, 0.0. It's actually making contact now, actually. So we'll just leave it at that because that should start filling up nicely. There we go. It's starting to not be able to clear it. There we go. That's what we want. We want a little bit of a backlog in the refinery. It's not still completing it. Because what I want to do is I want to place a drill on either side and make it wider. Because this at the moment is not wide enough. That's doing nicely for us. And we've still got a long way to go with the piston as well, which is nice. We're only at the first layer. We've got another 2 layers there. Excellent. So that's our setup already good to go. We've got no battery yet, so we're still relying on our little pod to keep us alive. So let's chuck ourselves in here for a recharge, and that's going to be us for this episode. Nice start to it. We've got our base of operations. The next objective for us is to get the batteries going, and then instead of relying on the pod, which can disappear, it's been known to even disappear when you tell it not to on a server, we can rely on our base, and that power supply from the base will then obviously be stored into the batteries when there's nothing going on the refinery and the assembler. Obviously, once we've got our hole done, we can stop. We're not going to be there for, you know, the whole time mining, so it can really charge up the battery, which will then supply us with other stuff. We've got a lot to do. This is literally the extreme tip of the iceberg that we've got planned. We want to get a rover going. We want to get a scout vehicle going. We need some, you know, ways to defend ourselves, to actually retaliate if we do get attacked. It's still early days at the moment, so we're all in the same boat, so there's nobody really going to come and attack us. Nobody's really got ships. We're also on a planet on our own at the moment that I do know, because no one's actually spawned on this planet. They went into outer space, one of them, and the other one obviously went on to a completely different planet. So we've got time, we've got plenty, you know, there's no rush yet, but we really do want to start thinking about some of these things. So, thanks a lot for joining me for this episode. Remember, if you'd like to join us on this server, make sure you check out the Discord. The link's in the description below. Let us know why you're there, Space Engineers, and then obviously we can get you onto the server. But until next time, everybody, take care for now. I'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye for now.